Hey, 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 chickadees, welcome in. This is a hotel edition of Mojo Mysticism. I appreciate you hanging with me. I've been away for a few days. I was actually at a retreat, so I traveled on Thursday and was at the retreat Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and now I am in another hotel. So, as is my life right now, and it is inexplicably delightful. So, where was I, you ask? Well, I have given myself a birthday gift of going to the Sedona Ascension Retreat in Sedona, Arizona. And I'm telling you, I was changed at a cellular level. I do not know all the ways in which I was changed. So it's going to take a little time for that to integrate. I will share all of that with you as I go through my journey. So that, in the hopes that you can relate to whatever parts of it that you can. And, but I know that I was fundamentally changed. And, yeah, so that's about all the words I have for it because I don't have any words for it. So we got 3 cards today, and these are such interesting cards. I went ahead and pulled them ahead of time. And I pulled them out of this really adorable little mini pocket version of the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. So this is a little itty bitty version of it. It is so cute. Look at how cute these little cards are. So as I travel, you'll likely see me using these little mini versions because they're easier to travel with. So the cards that our guides gave us tonight start with, well, interesting, they are all in the reverse. Not coincidental once you hear the message they've given us for them. So the first one is card 19, flexible. This is what it looks like in the upright position. And then here it is in the reverse. So number 19, flexible. Okay. In the reverse, this is reminding us to look in our lives where we are either being too rigid with ourselves, or we are being too rigid with others, or where others might be being a little too rigid with us. So this is what we're looking at, is to be flexible in those scenarios. And I'm going to tell you how that ties into the larger message here in just a moment. The second card that came out was I think this is card 29. This is breathe. So here it is in the upright, but it also came out in the reverse. And so here is what it looks like in its reverse. Breathe. So when this is in the reverse, this is reminding us to just really take care of ourselves, make sure we are getting out in nature every day, that we're spending a little bit of time getting some exercise and some fresh air so that we can continue to take care of the fascia that runs throughout our bodies. And the fascia took on a whole new meaning for me this last week. Again, don't have words for it just yet. When I do, I will let you know. But I know it's going to show up and shift. Actually, strike that, because what took me back was that a meditation that I have been given by Metatron is actually about the fascia, and the fascia igniting it and illuminating it, and it becoming essentially whole body coherence. So much more on that later. But it was incredible to just have that final piece of that puzzle fall into place for me, in just what was really a big aha moment for me in this past 3 days. So the third card they gave us is card number 15. This is message in a bottle. Card number 15, message in a bottle. Again, also in the reverse. So what does this all mean between being flexible, breathing, and that message in the bottle? What does it mean? So what we're being asked to really look at in our lives is where we are ignoring red flags. Okay. I don't know what area it's going to be in for each of you. It's going to show up in different areas, but look at those red flags. Like if you hesitate for a moment, that's a red flag. If you have a conversation with someone that leaves you confused, in my book, that's a red flag. It may not be in your book, but especially if you ask for clarity and then you don't get it, that's a red flag. If you have, and maybe something that escalates to an altercation with someone, that may be a red flag if repair doesn't work for you and the other person. You may have some red flags happening at in your place of business and where you work, just really being aware of those. That's what message in the bottle specifically is telling us, is to be aware and note those red flags. And I'm going to tell you a story about that at the end of this conversation today. And then breathe is really, we're going to talk about these in the reverse order and then tie it together. And breathe is telling us, hey, just let's make sure we're taking care of ourselves properly, that we're getting the rest that we need, that we're getting time outdoors. What I was beginning to learn this weekend is that we've got some astrological things that are happening over the course of the next many years, that's going to require us to really stay grounded, and also to be outside, to actually get sunlight on our bodies and move our bodies in ways that maybe we haven't done before. But really, really spend time in nature, and specifically allowing unfiltered sunlight, not staring at the sun. People, do not go out and stare at the sun, but just being out in the sunlight and letting those rays of light come into your eyes. So more on that later. And then the flexibility piece of this, where we may have found ourselves more rigid in some areas, or maybe others are more rigid, and just really understanding what's actually going on there. So, because at the end of the day, we have one purpose in life, and we all have the same purpose. And that purpose is to love, is just love, to be love. And how we express that purpose comes out in a myriad of different ways. And at some point in the future, I'm going to write a book on all that too. But that's what happens, is that's our purpose, is to be love. And there's really only two things that exist in the world. And Bashar reminded me of this over the weekend, because he was one of the headliners of the retreat. And it is that there's really only two things that exist in the world: fear and love. And that's it. And so everything we do, every thought we have, every word we say is coming out of either one of those places. It's either fear-based or it's love-based. And here's where it gets messy. So the message in the bottle. I'll tell you what happened to me. On Thursday morning, I got up. I pulled cards for myself. The first card I pulled out was not for you. I knew exactly what my guides were saying when that card came out. And they followed it up with a complimentary card that just kind of underscored the message. But those cards were pulled a little later in the morning, because what happened was early in the morning at 4 a.m., my guides woke me up and said, you need to go to the pendulum now. And I said, okay. So I went to the pendulum, got the pendulum out, I have a letter board that lets them spell things out for me from time to time. And I don't use the pendulum much these days. But sometimes when they have a pretty lengthy message, or they know I'm going to have a lot of questions about it, they take me to the board. So that's what they did Thursday morning. And they gave me a message that I didn't want to hear. And I had a choice to make. So the message in the bottle was that I had seen red flag, in my own behavior and my own attachment in a specific situation, and also within that situation as well, from the others that were involved. And they've been working on me for a number of months in this area. And they said, like, very specifically, do this thing today. And I was like, are you serious? And they were like, yes. And I'm like, why? And they told me why. And I didn't want to do it. In fact, it broke my heart to do the thing that I was asked to do that day. Literally broke my heart. I still have a heavy heart thinking about it, because I did not want to do it. I didn't want to do it. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. And I know that to walk this path and to be devoted to my guides and the guidance that I'm getting means that I no longer have the option to well, I always have the option to say no, but right now I don't have the option to say no. I'm not saying no to my guides. So, and if you saw some of the videos back in, I think it was February, early February, where I turned my back on my guidance, and it was incredibly painful and lonely. That is coming out of that is where my devotion has taken another level. And yes, I will still be very, very, very sassy with my guides. I always will be, I think. But I also truly and deeply appreciate the guidance that they're giving me, and it means so much to me that I am not going against it. So even when they tell me, do this thing, and they fill in the blank, and it's deeply, deeply painful, and like this one was, I'm still going to do it, even when it hurts. Even when it hurts. So, what does that have to do with the message today, right? The fact that we got breathe, we got flexible, and we got message in a bottle in the reverse. It's all the same thing. It's saying it's time to really look at what's going on in our lives. Assess what's happening around you. Decide what is and isn't for you any longer with your guidance. Okay, make sure you are in alignment with your higher self and your guidance, and make decisions about what you need to do. And they can be very painful, like this particular one was for me. But here's the thing. Where we are going in the next 24 to 36 months and beyond, we cannot take our old selves into that. We just can't. So it's time to shed that old skin. We've seen the let it go, let it go, let it go message all over the place on this channel lately. And it is time to do that. It's time to let go of things. It's time to let go of things that you love. It's time to let go of things that are a little easier to let go of. Whatever the case may be for you, and really prepare yourself to step into what's coming next for you. It's crucial that we do this, that we prepare ourselves. And I'm going to talk more on this channel as things really settle in and integrate for me about what we can expect over the next several years, and what's coming to me from our guides and my guides in particular about the point that we're nearing, that we're at. So so tune in to your guidance. Do not take it for granted. I mean, you can be sassy with them if you want, but try not to turn against them like I did, and do what they say. This particular one was super painful for me. I hated it, and I also have had messages after that have said, kind of beginning to affirm why that was important. Not just for me, but for everyone and everything involved in that particular thing. So, so heavy topic tonight. Also had a blast. The conference was in Sedona. Had an absolute blast in Sedona. It was really cool. So the first day I pulled a card out that morning that said, I asked, what do I need to know? What's in it for me? And my main guide had been telling me for some time that there was a surprise coming in Sedona. And so the very first morning when I got up and I pulled a card out, that card was actually community. So, and that is exactly what I found in Sedona, was a broader community of like-minded people who are on very similar paths. And, you know, sometimes it can be a little lonely, this path that we're all on, right? So it's really, really helpful to gather together with people that are on similar paths, so that you can kind of bounce things off each other. So really, really important, really great. I had a great time. Can't wait to go back. It'll probably be an annual thing for me, just to feed my soul and my spirit. So, all right, chickadees, that is it for today. I hope you have a fantastic day today, because I don't know, today's Monday, but you probably won't see this till Tuesday. I will record another one tomorrow night on Tuesday evening as well, from this same location too. And then I probably won't have one on Wednesday, because I get home very, very late on Wednesday. So we'll probably skip Wednesday again this week, but then I'll be back on Thursday and Friday. So, all right. And let me know in the comments, because here's the thing that I'm thinking about doing. And we're getting near the point, especially with the first book is about 70% complete at this point. The structure is in place for 4 books now. And so I'm beginning to think about kind of adjusting how we're delivering information on this channel, and begin to give you some little insights into some things that I'm learning and the teachings that my guides are giving me. So if you want to receive some of that, let me know. I'll be happy to share it with you. It's all going to come out in the books. All of those books are channeled, and I got confirmation on that this week too. So, anyway, so let me know if you're interested, and I will begin to kind of sprinkle that in as we go through our coming weeks. So, all right, chickadees, have a wonderful day. I love you all. Thank you for being part of this community. Mwah.